Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tailosive EV, where we talk about all things EV, but mostly Tesla. And this is not the permanent background or anything, it's just what I got for now. And today I want to talk about the hype I have surrounding the Tesla pickup truck. For those of you who may not know, my first vehicle was a Ford Ranger pickup from 2000, and I love the idea of having cars that are functional, that you can haul stuff with, and while I don't own a pickup anymore, I definitely find myself borrowing friends or families quite often, dependent on moving or hauling stuff, selling stuff. They're very, very functional, and I like that about pickups. And that has been a very present gap in electric vehicle markets. There's plenty of people that I think are willing to switch away from gas cars and want to move towards more electric, but there's just not really great EV pickup trucks right now, if any at all. So Rivian is an up-and-comer, but production for their company has not started yet, and their price points are slated to be a bit more on the higher end compared to what Tesla can provide, in my opinion, likely with their scale and their ambition with the gigafactories, how they reach deadlines, even if they are late. But I just want to add that I think this time in Tesla's history is one of the most exciting. I mean, we're just coming off of Q3. They actually turned a profit, which is great news for them. The Model Y is ahead of schedule, crushing that previous stigma that Tesla is always late and Elon never reaches his deadlines. This time, they're exceeding them, and simultaneously, we have a pickup truck, a brand new addition to the lineup coming out just around the corner. And from what Elon has told us so far, literally no one has gotten the design right online. There's so many different concept pictures that I'm sure I'm showing in this video, and yet none of them, he says, are accurate. And personally, I have to agree, even though I don't even know what the Tesla pickup looks like, anytime I see a concept for it online, I'm like, no, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's either. Other than, of course, the teaser image Tesla has given us themselves, which really doesn't give us much. Probably the least amount we've ever known about the design of a car before it launches. Like, when we got the teaser for the Tesla Semi, you got a pretty good indication. And we got a teaser for the Model Y, but we all knew it was going to be a crossover from the Model 3, so using your imagination, you could very easily figure out what the Model Y was going to look like. I feel like we borderline didn't even need an event for the Model Y, because while it's going to be a car that sells really well, and I think a lot of people are going to love it, it's just so incredibly similar design-wise to the 3 that why even have an unveiling? It's kind of unnecessary. However, the pickup truck definitely needs an event, and I hope that it's a lot more than just simple, history lesson Tesla time. Model Y event was like, okay, so it started with the Roadster, and then everyone in the audience is like, oh god, we're going all the way back. All right. First, the Earth cooled. Not that far, luckily. But Elon's promised some incredibly ambitious specifications for the pickup truck. For one, promising that he wants the range to be somewhere between 400 and 500 miles. And of course, it's Elon fashion, so he always has to top everything he's always listed. And he also ended that with maybe more. So yeah, we don't sell a Tesla currently that can reach 400 miles, but when it comes to the pickup, he's like, yeah, it's got to be between 400, 500, maybe more than 500, which everyone's jaw just drops to the floor. Like, what? Now you're making electric vehicles with better ranges than gas cars? Where is that in the current lineup? I don't see it now, but there's lots of speculation that the pickup truck will be the first Tesla to use these next generation batteries that will support up to 1 million miles. And before you try to clickbait me there, remember, it's not 1 million miles on a single charge, okay? I know there's a ton of media outlets out there that like the headline of million mile battery, because then there's a bunch of stupid people on the internet that are like, oh, so you charge it once and it goes 1 million miles? No, he's just saying you can recharge it up to 1 million miles. Currently, battery packs are going to be needing replacement between 300,000 and 500,000 miles. They want to get that up to 1 million. But aside from that, they're getting more power efficient with future generation vehicles, and the pickup truck definitely, because it's going to be towing things, you don't want to have a weaker range when you're hooking up lots of stuff to your pickup. So you want to make sure that that range is really A+, because it's probably going to be drastically reduced when you hook up a trailer to it or something, which he, by the way, mentioned that it would be able to tow up to 300,000 pounds worth of payload, which is kind of insane, and I'd love to see that actually proven on stage if they can do it. He also talked about how the suspension of the pickup truck will dynamically adjust depending on the payload, which is a fascinating fascinating feature, and in the past, he's tweeted that it will definitely be all-wheel drive with dual motors, and probably these features are going to be standard. However, some people are anticipating that the pickup truck would maybe go for quad motors, having one motor per wheel on this vehicle like the Rivian does, for better traction, better towing capabilities, and of course, performance. The price point is also probably the most ambitious thing about the pickup truck. Hearing all these specifications, I know they're like physically possible in an electric car, getting a range of over 500 miles and being able to tow 300,000 pounds and have this dynamic suspension, and at the same time, the design is completely unknown, and he says that a lot of people might not like it. Maybe it's too futuristic, and it would fit well in the Blade Runner universe. All these things I can believe, but the hardest thing I have understanding is that he wants to start the pickup truck at under $50,000. I don't know if you guys know this, but most Ford F-150s in the brand new condition are a little bit over $50,000. So if he wanted to add all these functional features to the pickup truck, you know, that also include 240 volt charge plugs within the bed so you can charge your power equipment, and probably even weld off of the battery pack that the pickup will be rocking as well, which begs the question, will the pickup truck be the first Tesla that can charge another Tesla? If it's got the 240 volt powering, I mean, not that it would charge it fast or very efficiently, but maybe if you have two Teslas, one Model 3 and one pickup, let's say your Model 3 is getting older in the 6-7 year range, it dies out in the freeway, so you drive your pickup out to it, charge it up, and then they can both go home. Regardless, that's getting off track. But getting it under $50,000, that's gonna be a tricky one. And I know that when the Model 3 was first unveiled, a lot of the specifications and numbers Elon gave us were generous, like it's gonna have a range of 215 miles minimum, and now every Model 3 available has way better range than that. And he said that they would all go 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds, and that definitely ended up being true, with the performance Model 3 doing 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds. So he was being generous with the specs, but one thing that didn't quite really end up being a reality was he wanted the starting price of the Model 3 to be around $35,000. I know that technically there's an off-menu Model 3 you can specially ask for that is $35,400, but once you factor in the sales tax, all these other fees, and given the fact that you can't even order that one from the website, that's one thing where I feel like Elon didn't quite come through. The Model 3 does not really start at $35,000. Even if you wanted to buy the cheapest Model 3 off the website today, it's gonna end up costing you well over 40 grand, and I expect a similar launch with the Tesla pickup. If it's gonna have all of these unique features that are supposed to make it more functional than everyday traditional pickup trucks, and also have this insane performance, and be able to charge accessories and stuff on the go, I have a hard time believing they're gonna get anywhere near that $50,000 starting price, which honestly, if it can do all the things he's talking about, I don't necessarily think it matters. Electric vehicles cost much less to maintain, so they could probably charge a lot more than an F-150 and justify it for people, because you can showcase how, you know, you're saving money in the long run. You have just as good a range as a gas vehicle, but you don't have to pay for gas, especially a lot of heavy-duty pickup trucks that take diesel, which is even more expensive than traditional gasoline. So the fact that you'll be able to charge this pickup from home and have access to the supercharging network, I feel like they could price it over 50 grand and people would still be willing to pay for it. We've already seen with sales of the Model 3 that a lot of average everyday people are willing to spend more than they normally do on new cars, and I'll be a good example, because they know that the cost of maintenance is much lower, they don't have to pay for gas or oil changes, and they can charge from home. But it would be really, really cool to see what the standard range option is for this pickup. My guess, to try to get the price low for people who maybe don't care that much about range and just need a pickup truck for hauling furniture around town and not much else, standard range will be like 370 miles, which is currently as good as the best Tesla range right now is, which is the Model S long range. That'll be standard. That'll be like the cheap one. And then the long range option will probably be around 420 miles. And we know Elon would love that number on stage, so it would be perfect. And I'm sure there would be some performance package as well, and over time maybe they can improve the range. But that's my guess. I personally don't think they're gonna get over 500 miles with the first iteration. I may be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but knowing they have that ambitiously low price point, those are my guesses for the numbers. And I think the pickup truck has the potential to sell really, really well, especially if you look at what types of pickup trucks sell in the United States today. They're very, very popular here. People spend a lot of money on them, and it's the one big genre in the electric vehicle market that EVs have not really entered yet. So Tesla making sure they enter this aggressively and with something really compelling that it would be stupid not to buy, I think is going to be super important for their company's future. So let me know what you guys think of the Tesla pickup. What are you excited for? What are you looking forward to by hitting me up in the comments below? And I will see you guys in the next one.